Hello, girls, gays, and Sutton. Though I've heard a lot of you live in the South, so maybe be cool to the other two groups. Anyways, today we're going to be talking about zombies and how the first one is a terrible racism allegory. And while everyone knows, I'm going to go in depth about how specifically it's bad. So, let's go. First, let's talk about how this allegory falls apart. The Zombies movie starts with our two main characters giving us historical knowledge on their fictional town of Seabrook. Addison, our female lead, explains that Seabrook was the perfect town until an incident at the power plant, and Zed, our male lead, takes over and explains that the incident involved lime soda spilling on a mysterious power source and turned people into zombies. These zombies, canonically, ate people and terrorized the town until Z-Bands were invented and the zombies were confined to Zombie Town. Through the movie, it's clear we're supposed to think that these, characters, these zombies, are a stand in for any marginalized group through the segregation and integration language used. Zed has to learn the integrations through winning football matches, and Addison is deterred from zombie sympathizer behavior by her cousin Bucky. And he even goes as far as destroying his cheer team to get rid of the positive zombie sentiment. The climax of the movie is Bucky's group, the ACs, messing with the Z bands, which Zed has been doing for a while, to be fair, and turning them completely off, causing the zombies to go full zombie mode and attempt to attack the humans. Though, when Zed has Bucky cornered, he has enough restraint to stop himself, so I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but he does end up getting arrested anyways. Secondly, the entire romance of the movie is a Romeo and Juliet situation. Cute, but it's a little weird that in order to be accepted by Addison's parents, Zed has to, swipe the other way on his Z band and turn himself into a full human in order to gain their approval. And, it's just like really weird. And before that part even happens, Addison is given the choice, are you pro cheerleader or pro zombie? And she chooses cheerleader, which I have my feelings about. I'll talk about that later. In the end, Addison realizes being on the side of the oppressed is more important than cheering and reveals her bad way. Reveals her natural all white hair and is rejected by everyone anyways. She's very inspirational in this moment, saying you can't use the monster qualities of his to win your games and then not accept it outside of that. That's not fair and that's not okay. Let's ignore the eating people part. She has a point there. But then with the eating people part, not really. Anyways, it's obvious that the fact the zombies pose a genuine threat to humans without the Z-bands. It's not like a propaganda thing, which it should be. It's true. They'd kill people, and that's not the. And I don't think that's a good message to give at a press people. And I get it, if you're comparing people to zombies, then it's going to happen. But don't compare people to zombies. Then it's that easy. And for our surprise of the video, this is not going to be a common thing. Don't ask for it. Welcome, my sister.
Hi, my name is Victoria, and I personally do not think zombies is a good allegory for racism. I think this is because that zombies are inherently harmful to humans, and to use a group that is violent in ways is not a good way to represent oppressed groups. Like in the media, especially now with everything that's happening in the world, POC, specifically brown and black people, are being written as violent, rude, like ruining the economy, stuff like that, when it's just not true. So to make an allegory where it is true, in a sense, it doesn't read as well. And personally, I feel like what they could have done instead was to make two zombie groups, maybe, and to make one group seen as the perfect one and the other one seen as less perfect, where the perfect one is playing the media to make the other group to seem more violent and to justify why they're oppressing the other group. Just like Zootopia, I think they struggle with understanding why racism happens. And it's not just, oh, hey, well, some zombies are cool or some predators are cool, so we shouldn't assume all predators are bad or all zombies are bad. But it's is just not the same when one group can actually harm and has been known to harm another group. So, yeah, thank you for having me on.
All right, that was wonderful. Let's all clap for Victoria. I said clap. I know you're not clapping. All right, goodbye, Victoria. So, what could Disney have changed to make the allegory better? Well, I can't be normal about anything, so I have a list. One, let's make it so the zombies never posed a real threat to humans, but it was propaganda that led to younger zombies like Zed and his friends, and the humans thinking that they do without the Z-Bands. If for future movies, at the time of recording and scripting, I have not seen the fourth movie, so I don't know if this adds anything to that, but if for the future movies we need zombies to have a biological difference about them, which is still weird, make it so the power source, the mysterious power source that the lime soda spilled on, gave them, like electric, not powers, but like, they're not as good as a conductor for electricity as, or like their body can withstand electricity better as a conductor than regular humans. And, maybe that also gives them increased adrenaline or something. Just not eating people. That's like the whole problem with me having it. It's like it's eating people. That's the problem here. Anyways, third, let's make the Z band nullify the electricity thing so that they're on the same level as humans with the adrenaline and the electricity conductor. And give the Z band plot that Zed needs for the football thing. Make it so it's a placebo effect, and he thinks that he's getting increased strength when really he just has a bit more adrenaline and also is just like more confident in himself and doesn't have the anxiety about trying to play football for the first time with humans and such. I feel like these three changes could make it a better allegory because it doesn't mean the zombies are actually monsters at all. And it's the power of propaganda and the placebo effect that had people thinking that? Other theories on the allegorical meaning of what the zombies and other monsters in the franchise represent are neurodivergencies or physical disabilities, or in general, different mental illnesses. And whereas I personally don't really see that, I'm not going to tell someone that they can't see that in it. Media is meant to be experienced by everyone differently. The only problem I do see is that whatever minority you replace as a zombie, whether it's, race, sexuality, disabilities, mental illnesses, anything of the sort, I think it's bad that they're still portrayed as monsters without whatever you replace as the Z bands. So if it's a physical disability, it's, oh, they're monsters without their mobility aids. If it's a mental disability, it's, oh, they're monsters without their medication. And I just don't really like that. I just, it just feels very gross, I guess, to say that any person is a monster without something. Now, people can be monstrous, but I don't think that's what this movie is trying to represent, especially with it being every zombie that kind of goes full eating brains mode when their Z bands aren't working. So, I don't know. I feel like we could do better than that, you know? All right. Now, one thing I do like in this, no, not that, well, not right now. Anyways, I like how Addison is a somewhat realistic representation of people unlearning their instilled beliefs. You know, when she's asked the first time, "Are you a zombie or a cheerleader?" She chooses cheerleader. She decides that she's not going to stick up for zombies at all. Iffy choice, but it's realistic. She's been wanting this since she was a kid. It's really hard for her to, put that aside for the greater good of zombie manity. Zom whatever. Anyways. Um she, wants to be with Zed and she wants to, she wants zombies to be more accepted, but not at the cost of something that she's wanted her entire life. It takes seeing the cheer squad do something actually dangerous that could have hurt not only humans but zombies as well, and it did hurt the zombies, for her to like fully separate herself from cheerleading because it's better to be on the right side of history, I guess. So I think that she decided after like fully having the moment, and after talking to Zed and experiencing more of zombie, you know, humanity, zombie culture. There we go. After experiencing more of zombie culture is when she fully kind of rips herself away from that and is like, whatever consequences I incur from this, I will have to just take because I can't stand seeing this anymore. Like, these are my friends, these are people that I care about, and I don't want this to happen anymore. I really like the romance. I love romance all the time. So I think this is beautiful, and I think the way that they like love each other so much, even in the next couple movies. Once again, haven't seen Zombies 4, so I just think it's like really cute and amazing. I do think also in the other movies, we'll talk about it later. I think that Addison's really we'll talk about it later. Anyways, I think they're very cute for each other, and I do still listen to the love song that they have with each other a lot. It's really cute. Here's what I would change if I were the one to rewrite the movie, or have written them, whatever, doesn't matter. Um, I'd leave the beginning where Zed and Addison explain the history of Seabrook the same. Most of it would be the same, but Zed's dad would definitely be more involved because I feel like we don't see much of him through the movies, and he just doesn't seem like the type of dad to me. I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, he would be more like protective and involved after Zed starts going to the human school, especially because he knows like from his parents how things have gone in the past and how like things need to be better. I don't really think much about Addison needs to change in the movie in general. I feel like she's a good like placeholder, not placeholder. She's like a good like gauge of how different things are in the movie. I think, their meet cute would stay the same. They'd both be in the zombie safe room, the lights turn on, she realizes he's a zombie, she panics, she hits him. But it's kind of like a first love at first sight situation. Um, Zed would go to the pep rally, and Bucky seeing zombies at the pep rally would still be like, "Oh, let's pull out the fire sticks," which I noticed. Eliza and Zed did not panic at that scene, so I would make it so they continue to not panic at that scene. And further, they're like, "Hey, Bonzo, please calm down." And maybe it's like a personal trauma that Bonzo has, that like something happened with fire in his past, and he is scared of it a little bit. And so he panics at this and runs out, pushing Zed over, and Zed hits his Z band, thinking it's broken, but he can't look at it at the moment because he realized that Bonzo pushed him, but Bonzo also pushed the catchers out of the way for Addison. So he runs down, pushing people out of the way because he's not really concerned about how he looks at the moment, pushes people out of the way and catches her. And he realizes his Z-Bond gets hit again by catching her. And he's like, oh, must have fixed it because he feels the same again, feels like less anxious. Talk to Eliza about it, and she would kind of be like, I don't know. Then when he gets put onto the football team and things don't go well the first half, he'd go to Eliza and say, hey, Eliza, can you jailbreak my Z-Band so that I get to, zombie out again and kind of get that increased strength? And Eliza would know. Eliza's a very intelligent girl. I think she would know that it doesn't change anything biologically about him, but she would lie because he needs the confidence boost, and she knows about the placebo effect and just be like, yeah, here, let me jailbreak it, boom, got you. She'd actually jailbreak it, but when it turns off, it just gives him the increased adrenaline, at more than humans, and, he'd play better because he thinks he's doing better. So he wins the games, they get the acceptance, whatever, whatever. And then when the laptop gets stolen, instead of Eliza never noticing, because it's weird that she didn't, she's a very attentive and observant person. I feel like she'd notice immediately, ask Bonzo for help to find it. And when they find out the Aces have it, Bucky sees this and is like, oh, this might be a good opportunity. And he puts kind of like he puts on a show to get a lot of attention of Bonzo and Eliza like asking the Aces for her laptop back. She would be kind of like, please give me my laptop back, it has all my stuff on it and I don't want it to get like broken or anything. And Bonzo doesn't really speak English, he only speaks zombie in the movies. So I feel like him speaking zombie, they can manipulate the narrative all they want, and Eliza could be like, no, just give me my laptop back, and the Aces, being Aces, whatever. until Bonzo tries to grab Eliza's laptop from the ACs, but they make it seem like Bonzo's attacking them and like run and panic, which causes everyone else to panic, mob mentality. Zed would have the game would be done by now. Turns over, he sees all this happening and starts walking towards to be like, hey, what's going on? He's like jogging towards them. He sees everyone run off and he sees Bucky, and he knows that Bucky's been messing with him the entire time. I don't think he's that oblivious. I do think he would be a more anxious type in my version of the movies. But anyway, so he goes and he follows Bucky and he's like, hey dude, what's going on? um and Bucky, like, kind of tricked by his own panic, but also trying to make a big show, is still screaming and, oh my god, no, don't hurt me, which causes Zed to still get arrested and put to the back of the truck, taken home, whatever. Zed, while at home, like when he gets home, his dad asks, why would you do that? Why would you put yourself in a situation where they can manipulate the narrative? That's not okay for you. Instead of saying, why would you message a Z-Band? That's dangerous. Because I just feel like the Z-Band shouldn't actually be keeping eating brains part out of their whatever. But anyways, so that would be the thing. He'd ask, why you would put yourself in a situation. You need to do better. You need to like really think about what you're doing. And Eliza, like when she goes to talk to Zed about it, and she's like, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I believed that they actually wanted to hang out with me or be my friend or anything. I was, hoping that things were getting better, and that's my fault. And like it would make her be more of a chaotic activist than she already was. So they would lead to her doing the thing at the cheer competition, already is in the movie, and boom. Then, the cheer happens, they all kumbaya, boom, movie ends. That's how I would have it, anyways. So, is it a good representation or allegory for racism? No. But is it a kid's movie that wasn't really written for people to dig too much into it? It's supposed to be a fun time. Yeah. Some people don't have fun watching it, but I do. I like it. Um, and I rewatched it recently a couple times, hence me wanting to make this video. So, yeah. Thanks to me not being normal about things, you guys have this. I'm going to go. Let me know if you have anything to think about this, or if you have anything you want me to make a video on downstairs in the comments, I guess. All right, well, that's enough yapping for me. So, like if you want, subscribe if you want. You're your own person. I can't tell you what to do. Bye.